Hi everyone, welcome back to another live stream on Faraday Academy. If you're new here, my name is Gwen and I've been doing this series of Python live streams and also some Vue.js live streams on this channel, so welcome. Hi nobodies, how are you? So I've done two other Django live streams before, and this is the repo. It's linked below, so this is what I've been working on in this reasonable productivity. It's a productivity app, but you can see all the code that I've done so far on GitHub. And a couple of housekeeping items first. So I did change the default database to use Postgres. So I will be able to show you in a SQL client, just so we can look at the database, and because Postgres is a bit nicer than SQLite. Yeah. One more thing that I did was, so these are the two apps that we created last time, tasks and users. I changed tasks to be plural for one thing because that wasn't sitting right with me. And I also went ahead and put them in an apps directory, which meant I had to update a few lines of code in the app. Like I had to put apps.tasks here and apps.users here. And then I also had to update the URLs file to be apps.tasks.urls. One other thing you can see, because usually when Django sets up your app, it gives you this very long name. So of the main app that it sets up for you with the settings and all that stuff inside. So it had the same name as the outlying folder, Reasonable Productivity API, which is super long. So I went ahead and just changed that to config. And then there's a couple places I had to update it, like in here I had to say rootconfig.urls, and then I had to change it in my manage.py as well, so it knew where my settings file was. Thank you. So yeah, those are the changes I made. I think it's a little bit nicer and cleaner now. And then you'll notice if you come to the repo, I did go ahead and add a schema and an API here. One of the holdups for that was I have all these big plans for this app and I just couldn't get it boiled down to a V1. I kept going back and forth on what I wanted in it. So for right now, it's just going to be tasks and lists. And you can see the roadmap of some other things I want to add. And then I have a whole V2 planned as well for this app. All right, so let's get started. So I have the app. Actually, I didn't run it yet. So let me run python manage.py run server. All right, so now it's running. And this is, it's not a full stack Django app, by the way. So it's Django plus Django Rest Framework, because I'm using it as an API, because I'm going to start building out the, I'm going to start building out the front end in Vue.js. So it's detached, so we'll have a really nice single page application on the front end with a nice data flow and be able to do all kinds of cool things outside of templates. Did I move out of the office? No, this is a green screen. Yeah, so it's just covering everything, and then some stock photo that I have in the background, which I think is quite nice actually. You can, I don't think I set it up right today, because you can see like the very black corners of the green screen in the corners, but you can't really tell that's the green screen unless you know about it. Okay, cool. So the first thing I want to do is, you can see in this, where is it? In this schema, I didn't add all the data types here because I kind of think they're not too complicated. Maybe I'll add those later, but description should have a default here. So if someone doesn't enter it, it's an empty string. So I don't think I want it to be nullable, but I guess maybe that's the same thing as making it nullable almost. Hi Ma, how are you? I think if I put a mountain in the background, I was thinking about getting a nice ocean view or something. Maybe I'll do that. Oh, also, someone recommended this theme, this pale dark theme to me last time, and it's kind of growing on me. I kind of like, let me open the requirements. These colors are quite nice, I think. The purple and pink and orange. I don't know if they're pastel or some other type of modern color. I'm not good with color names. Okay, so I need description because right now, because I don't want to make a user enter a description for a task, because like if I say feed cats for the task, why do I need a description too? Like feed cats wet food, you know? Because if I don't have a description here and I try to post it, it's not going to post because it says description can't be blank. So let me go ahead and update that. Let me go into my tasks app and let me look at my models. Yeah, I need to make it optional, exactly. So, okay, so in my models, I have this task model and this description. So I think what I'm going to do is do default equals empty string. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I should just do nullable. I think that's nullable equals true, maybe. Oh, unexpected keyword argument. It must just be null. Let me see if that works. Is that... Oh, so I have to rerun it. Okay. All right, so it seems to be working. Just gonna refresh it. Null value in column description violates non-null constant constraint. So is there a non-null constraint? Oh, I think because I changed this and I didn't migrate it. Also, any tasks that are in the database, which I don't have any yet, might conflict. Oh no, because it's just null. Because I might have to set a default if I had tasks in there. But I think right now, since I don't have anything in the database, I can just do, let's see, Python manage.py and then, well, if I do, so let me do run server. And then it doesn't, so I have to make a migration. That's what I need to do first. So Python manage, because it doesn't know that I updated that field yet. So Python manage.py make migration. Oh, make migrations. It's plural. Okay, so now I added that migration. It says I altered the field description on task. And I have a new migration now in my migrations folder. So alter field, cool. Let's see if this works now. Let me do Python manage.py and migrate. So it updates the database and it applied that migration, and now I can do run server. Okay. Oh, okay, so now it accepted it, cool. So now let me do water plants. I don't have any plants, but someday I will. Okay, so it seemed to post just fine here. Let me see. By the way, this interface is just given to me by Django Rest Framework. This isn't something I built. This is because I'm just looking at the API. So Django Rest Framework gives me this interface so that I can do CRUD operations with the API without having to without having to, I guess, just go through the browser or another REST client. Yeah, it's just a nice interface. So let me, at this tasks endpoint, let me get. Okay, and it gets all of the tasks. So that's good. And then, so I would think that this should have an ID, because I don't think Django Rest Framework changes that. So let me look in dbeaver. My database is reasonable productivity here, so schemas, public tables, and here I have tasks. So basically how Django, let me see, can I zoom in on this? It's not letting me zoom in, but hopefully you can see it here. So Django names their applications based off of the app name. So since I called the app tasks, and then the model name, lowercase. So it's tasks _ task for that model. And then I'll look over here in data. Okay, and I have feed cats, water plants. Okay, the ID is just not showing in the interface, but it's there. Good. Okay, so now I have tasks. So let me look and see if it's giving me. Oh, cool. That's awesome. So it sets this up by default, because I didn't set this up. I mean, in my URLs, wait, where is it? Yeah, in my URLs file, it's just using the router that I get from the Django Rest Framework. So that's cool that it gives me a regular REST API features without having to set it up. But you have not worked on a project with it yet. Yeah, it took me a while to get used to because of the large API, but I'm really liking it. Okay, so I have this. Now let me create a new app. So let me create the lists app. All right. So let's see. Python manage.py, and then was it create app? No, it was start app. Yeah. It was start app. And then what's the app name? I'll call it lists. And actually, before I do this, because now my apps are in this, this subdirectory called apps. So if I do, so if I do Python manage.py, no, start app, and then lists, it's going to create it in my root folder. So to get it to create in the subdirectory, I first have to make directory, let's see, apps/lists. Okay, so now that I made that directory, I think now I can do Python manage.py start app and then lists. No. And then apps/lists. Oh, wait. So start app lists, and then I can give it the directory I want it in. That's how I do it, I think. Okay, that seemed to have worked. No errors. Let's see. Yep, and now it goes into that directory. Otherwise, it throws an error and says there's no directory. I don't know why it doesn't throw an error when there's no folder created in the root, but that's just how it works if it's a nested directory. Okay, so now I have apps, models, tests. Oh yeah, I need the URLs. Let me create the urls.py file. And I guess I'll start with the models again. And let me just exit that. Let me copy. I guess I can copy this, yeah. Just to give me a starting point. All right. And then, so let me get rid of all this though. Oh, I guess it's not the same name either. So this will be list. So in list, and let me look at my schema. Oh yeah, that's one thing I need to add to tasks. They don't belong to any user yet, so I need to add a foreign key there. So I'll go ahead and add that to lists as well. And then I'll have a name. And so list isn't going to have any items directly in the list. It's just going to have a name for right now. And I guess I'll add a description. Yeah, I'll have a description too. And then created at, updated at. And then these list items will be, will relate to the list. So they'll be stored in a separate table because I'll be performing separate CRUD operations on those. Okay, so let me start off with just typing these out. So user ID, name, description, and created at and updated at. And I'm probably going to be using created at and updated at a lot, so eventually I'll make some kind of class to extend for those. Yeah, I'll probably make some kind of utils directory here or something. But I can do that after. So users, so this is going to relate to the user model. So I'm going to do models dot, let's see, foreign key, and then I need to pass in the model, so I'm going to have to import that, but the model will be user, and then or actually I think with user I will be importing that from Django, so I'm going to leave that blank for now. So name, let's see, models, what type is this going to be? It's going to be a char field, and then max length will be, I guess, 255. Okay, so description, I don't really want to put a short limit on description, so I might make this a text field. Oh, and you can leave that null as null if you want. Okay, and then created at, and let's see. So actually I'm going to create a utils app now because I'm going to go ahead and put these in another class so I can just extend that and I'm not having to type these out the whole time. So let me do the same thing. So let me make directory apps utils, and then I'll do Python manage.py start app utils, and then apps / utils. Okay, so I think, okay, so that made this utils directory, and now in models I'm going to create let's say class timestamps. I think that sounds good. So models.model, I'll extend that. So this will be just like a regular class, and I forgot to set up my editor for 4 spaces. I'll just add that. Okay, so now I have timestamps.timestamp, and I'm going to do a created at and updated at. And I'm going to steal these fields from tasks because I already have them in my tasks model. So I'm going to take these and put them here. Okay, and then do I need, let's see, do I need to define a string here? I don't think so. I think this will be good. Okay, so now that I have these timestamps, I can just import this model. Oh yeah, I have to register that app. So I need to register both those apps. So let me do that first, and then I'll import the timestamps class. So in my config, I'll go into settings.py, and then I'll do apps dot, let's see, so apps dot lists, and then apps dot utils. Okay, just to make this the same, I'll put the trailing comma. Okay, so I have apps.list, apps.util, so all my apps are registered. I think that's the only thing I need to do. Except in URLs, I'm also going to need to do those lists. I won't have any URLs for utils, because those will just be utility functions. But I'm going to do apps.lists. Go ahead and change that. Yeah, he's been out for a few streams, I think, now. I thought maybe he didn't like Django, so he wasn't tuning into the Django streams. But you do Python, right? You came to the Code Wars streams where we were doing that really tough game of life challenge. Okay, so I added the lists URLs in my main config. And now, so in these model, now I have to import from apps.utils, from apps.utils.models import timestamps, and this is just the timestamps class. And so I'm going to just include it here, so timestamps. And then I should get these created at, updated at, just out of the box without having to define them here, because I'm extending it there. Okay, and now I'm gonna do the same thing here. Oh wait, I need to import it. Oops. I need to from, actually let me just copy this. Okay. Import, that was timestamps. And timestamps, yeah. Okay, good. So now that should be give me created at, updated at, and I still need to work on this foreign key though, for user, and I'm gonna have to add that here as well. So just do both at once. So models.foreign key, and then I need to import the user model. Oh, okay. Yeah, Python's awesome. So I can't remember, there's a special keyword that you import to import the user model in Python. So let me just look that up. So wait, Django import user model. Here it is, get user model. User equals get user model. So I think, so if I import, let me just put a space. Okay. So if I import get user model, then I think I can use it here as the user. And this keeps it consistent across all of my application. And this is the only, I guess, model that I'm making where Django has a special method to get that model. Everything else I'll just import like this, just like the timestamps here. Okay, so now I have a foreign key set up to my user model, and oh yeah, let me add this to this as well. And now I think I need some more options here. So, oh yeah, I need to import that too. So let me copy this. Okay. And now I need to say, so if the user is deleted, what should I do with a list? I should delete the list as well. So there's some kind of on delete. I can't remember exactly. Let me look it up. So Django on delete Cascade. Let's see. Let me look at Cascade. Yeah, on delete models.cascade. Okay. So I think I should be able to do this. My linter is going to complain about this line. But, sorry. So Cascade, this means the list will be deleted if the user is deleted that's associated with this list. So that's exactly the functionality I want. So I'm going to copy this over to my tasks as well. I'm going to run flake8 linting on that in a second. Okay, I made a bunch of changes. So let me first do migrations and see if that works. So Python manage.py make migrations, and then I will test out the API. Okay, so let's see, what kind of error did I just get? Let's see, okay. So the included URL conf apps list URLs does not appear to have any patterns in it. Oh, right, because I didn't set up that URLs file in lists. So let me just set something up there real quick. So, okay, yeah, I'm in lists. And yeah, it's exactly the same because I'm not setting up any custom URLs here. This is just the default CRUD operations off of the /lists endpoint. I do need, so this task view set, I'm going to change this to ListViewSet. So I'm going to have to update my views file here. And again, I'm going to copy that from tasks. So now let me go into here, import my list model, and then I'll do, let's see, a list serializer, and then, oops, list view set, and then I have to change this one to list, and then I guess I should have just changed these all at once. Okay, list and, oh, this one too. Okay. Serialize, oh, okay. All right. So I'm using neither one actually. Let me deactivate here. So actually I do, to create my virtual environment, I always do this to create it, and then I just call it venv as well because it makes it easy. So that's why in my directory you can see that I have my virtual environment stored right here under the name venv. That's just a nice built-in virtual environment that's easy to use in Python 3. So sorry if you can hear a kitten meowing in the background. So source, now I just go into it, you know, the normal way. Source vn bin activate. I like having my virtual environment in this same directory. That way it gets cleaned up when this repo is cleaned up, because if I have it all in some nebulous folder out there, who knows how long it's going to last. And then also sometimes I want to look at the packages in here and stuff, so I have it right here with my project. All right, so yeah, so that's how I'm doing my, that's how I do my virtual environments. Oh yeah, I do use pyenv, but that's for my Python versions, because for different projects and companies, I need different Python versions, so I use pyenv to switch easily between Python versions. Yeah, and install different versions too. Okay, so where was I? So did I do Python manage.py? Okay, so I made migrations. Now let me migrate. So migrate. Okay, so my models have changes that aren't yet reflected in a migration. Oh, I tried to run make migrations and I didn't get to. That's right. So let me try again. Okay, you're trying to add a non-nullable field. Timestamps PTR to task without a default. Yeah, I didn't add a default to it. I could just clear my tasks out of the database and then it wouldn't matter. Let me see. So it's talking about, not in my config, in my utils. In models, I have updated at and created at timestamps. Yeah, timestamps. Okay. So provide a one-time default now will be set on all existing rows with a null value for this column. So let me quit. Keyboard interrupt. Okay, let me quit and then just delete these. How can I delete? Oh, wait. So down here, I should be able to, oh, here I can delete it. And then here I can delete. And then, okay, so I deleted the tasks. I don't have any lists yet. So now let me try running make migrations again. Okay, so it's not quite provide a one-time default. I'll just provide a one-time default. Let me choose that option. Please enter the default value now. The date, time, and Django utils timezone module are available, so I can do timezone.now. I'll just do that then. Timezone.now is the default. Okay, I'm trying to add a non-nullable field, user ID, to tasks without a default. We can't do that. The database needs something to populate existing rows. So let me see how I can populate them. I think you need to set another parameter set to null. So I don't want to have a null parameter. Okay, so for this one, user ID, so I'm just gonna put a user ID of 2. Okay, so I think that worked. So now let me actually migrate, because make migrations finally worked. Migrate. Field ID expected a number, but got a date time. All right, I might just roll back all of my migrations. Let's see. Let me refresh this table. Yeah, the table's empty. So let me try to roll back my migrations for tasks. So I'll do Python, or let me clear this so it goes to the top. So Python manage.py migrate. Let me do the tasks app, and then I'll go back to the first migration to roll back. So migrations, let me go back to 0001. 0001. Okay, so I unapplied all of the other migrations, and now let me try to migrate again. Got a date time. Let me try to migrate just tasks. Yeah, so field ID expected a number, but got a date time. So the ID field, add, so name ID, model task. So I think I accidentally added a default date time to this field for some reason, which is weird. Okay, so I might roll back and just delete these two migrations then. And then I have to roll back in here as well. So let me go back, undo those task migrations. Okay, so no migrations to apply. Okay, so now I need to make migrations. All right, make migrations. Provide a one-time default. Trying to add a non-nullable field without a default. I mean, okay, so I guess what I could do is import this. Utils timezone. Okay, so what I could do, let me go to my timestamps. I thought moving the timestamps out would be easy. Okay, let me go into utils timestamps and see if I can, so from Django utils, import timezone, and then I think I can do timezone.now, if I'm not mistaken. So I could add defaults for these, so default, no, because I mean auto add now does default to that, so that's really redundant. Yeah, that's weird. Provide a default for time zones. So yeah, I guess the default that I want is timezone.now. And now I'm trying to add a non-nullable field user ID to a task without a default. So the user ID is a number, so let me add, okay. And now it's saying there's another one, so please enter a default. Wait, you're trying to add a non-nullable field user ID, so it's giving me the same error. So please select, okay, so now migrations are applied again. So let me do python manage.py migrate. Expected a number but got a date time. Why is it adding a date time for the ID field? Field ID in tasks. All right, so it's importing this time zone module, and where is it using it? So let's see. Time zone. Preserve default. Yeah, it's giving a default timezone.now to utils.timestamps. Okay. So field 1-to-1. And then if I go to utils or to models in utils, these are date fields, so it should accept a date. So let's see. Name timestamp. And why is it called PTR also? Okay, so these timestamps, I guess it's some reference to the timestamps class. Yeah, it's setting a default. So here is the ID. So why is it setting an ID? Why is it saying there's a date time for the ID field? Oh, it's removing the ID field. Why would it be removing the ID field? Because here it created the ID field. So why is it now removing the ID field? Because I haven't set another primary key. Does anyone know why it would do that? Let me look here. So here I have user ID, which I have as a foreign key, but I didn't set this as being the primary key. Let me look at my migrations and see if it's setting it as that. So it adds this user ID field, and yeah, it's not setting a primary key here. So why is it removing the field ID? That's so weird. Why would it do that? I can try deleting this table maybe. Yeah, let me delete that table and see. Relation task does not exist. Oh, because now this migration, I think this one creates the table, and now that I deleted it, I need to go back. So let me clear this. So Python, how come I always seem to get hung up in migrations? So Python manage.py, let me migrate back now. So back to 0001. No, only for tasks. So in my tasks, migrations, go back. So it didn't apply any. So let me see if now I can migrate tasks, and I cannot because it's saying that tasks, this table doesn't exist. So now let me see, I could clear all migrations. So I think if I can't even remember the command for that. Let me see. Django undo all migrations. How to reset migrations. Delete from Django migrations. Oh, okay, so I could delete it directly from the migrations table. It's saying I could delete my migrations folder, delete from Django migrations, and then redo make migrations and migrate. Oh yeah, here's the better way, I think. 0 will drop all tables. So I think what I want to do is 0 and then do migrations again. Okay, let me try that. And let me try it only for the tasks app right now. So Python manage.py migrate tasks 0. Oh, because the table doesn't exist already. So maybe I'll just try it for all apps then. Oh, no installed app. So it's thinking. Okay, so now that I manually deleted the table, which I shouldn't have done, how now do I get to Python manage.py migrate? I wonder if I should just delete the migrations folder then. Because this initial migration was created on my first make migration. So let me delete this and see if I can make migration now. Oh, make migrations, plural. No changes detected. Right, because I need to roll back the tasks app. So I might just have to do the nuclear option and delete the entire table and go back. So I can do PSQL and then Postgres Gwen. So the table, let's see, drop. Okay, drop, what is it? Drop database. And then the name is reasonable. Oh, wait, let me zoom in, sorry. So, what was it? Oh yeah, drop database. No, it's not underscore. So the drop command and then database reasonable productivity. I think that works. It's thinking. So there are 2 servers closed. Okay, good. So now there shouldn't be any sessions. Okay, so it gave me the confirmation that the database was dropped. That's always good. All right. And now let me create, I guess it's create database. And then the same name here. So reasonable productivity. Okay, and it created it now. Good. And now I can reopen dbeaver. And wasn't expecting to do this much database stuff. All right. So now, okay, let me full screen that. All right, so now I have this. Let me set it as my active database. Okay. In public, tables. So I have no tables right now. Good. All right, so now let me go here. So I won't have a migrations table. So if I run my Python app now, run server, yeah, now it says I have 22 unapplied migrations. Cool. So now I can do Python manage.py make migrations. No changes detected. So let me see if I can do a specific app. Okay, so it did create a migration for here when I did tasks. Good. And I think I already have the migrations set up for all the other ones. That's good. Okay. So now I have all my migrations. So let me try migrate one more time. Sweet. Now it applied all the migrations. Let me go back over here and refresh my database. Okay, cool. Now I have all my tables here. Let me look at my migrations table. Yep, it has all my migrations in here. Sweet. Tasks. Timestamps PTR. You know, I wonder if because I'm passing this in first and I'm extending it, that's why it's messing all this stuff up. Because it really shouldn't be like that for tasks. Let me see here. Yeah, it's the same thing here. So, let me see. Because this is now my primary key. And let me see what happens if I add a new task here. So let me do Python run server. Okay. Python run server, and now if I go into my API, right, so tasks, title, feed cats, user ID violates non-null constraint. So I think a couple things that I need to do here, set up this foreign key. I need to look up how I need to set up the foreign key properly, and then also this timestamps model. Let me search for foreign key. Okay, many to one relationship requires two positional arguments, the class to which the model is related, and on delete. Okay, so I think I provided the class properly. I'm pretty sure that's how I'm supposed to get the class, but let me look that up. So I'll do Django foreign key user model and see what people have to say about that. All right. Okay, there we go. Django foreign key user in models. Okay, I have the auth user model set to the correct user. The accepted answer is not well liked. Don't use user model directly. Okay. Settings.auth user model. So there's 3 ways I can access the user model. I can use the user model directly. I can do settings.auth user model, because in my settings file I have the auth user model set to my user model. Oops. And then I can also do this get user model, which gets the same user model, but I think this is the recommended way to do it now in Django 2 and 3. Okay, on delete models.cascade. So yeah, I have this set up correctly. So that's good. So I think there's a problem. The problem is with timestamps there. So yeah, the timestamp, and also because if I look in my table, for some reason it's saying the timestamp is the primary key when I don't want that at all. So what to search for? So let me search for Django, just Google search. Oh wait, so Django, and I'm gonna search for using Mixins in model class. Okay. So this person made this mixin and he's trying to import it into his class myModel. Okay. Tagging mixin. Mixins inherit from model.model but are configured as an abstract class. Okay. Because mixins inherit from model.model, your actual model should not inherit from it. Okay, I didn't know that. All right, so I think I have to set up the mixin as an abstract class then in my meta subclass. So let me set that up. So let me go in here and use a subclass meta. Okay, and then put the class meta inside abstract equals true. And now I hope I didn't screw up my migrations again. I'm going to be a migrations expert after these streams. All right, so now I have my model. So tagging mixin. You cannot mix it with models. All right. Using mixins. So I think actually I can inherit from models.model. All right. Let me try running server. All right. Let me try migrating. Okay. Which is good because, yeah, utils timestamps, I don't really want this as a database in the database here. So first of all, let me see if I can do python manage.py migrate and then remove this utils one. So I'll migrate the utils app, but I will migrate it, reverse all migrations for the utils app. Okay, cool. So it undid everything in utils. That's good. All right, so now let me try to python manage.py. Let's try to do that for tasks too, because now I have that weird field that I added, this timestamps PTRID as my primary key, which I don't want as my primary key at all. So let's see, migrate tasks to 0. Okay, so it wants me to do the migration first. So let me go ahead and make migrations. Oh wait, so python manage.py make migrations first. But now it wants me to provide a default, which I think I can just do a timestamp. So you can accept the default timezone.now by pressing enter. Okay. You're trying to add a non-nullable field ID to a list without a default. Okay, so let me provide a default ID then. and just say 1. And now it's created at. So created at field to task without a default. The database needs something to populate existing rows. Okay, and this will let me do timezone.now, so I'll just click enter. And now it's asking, okay, for another ID field. Okay, so this all worked. I just provided some defaults for those fields. Now let me refresh this, all of these tables. Okay, so now those tables aren't in here anymore. So now let me do Python manage.py migrate. Local field created at in list clashes with the field of the same name from base class timestamps. Okay, good. It's good I'm getting a different error now. So now I just have to go into my models here. So I don't have a local field here called created at. Let me look at my migrations. So I have timestamps, get rid of that. So remove field, I'm removing that timestamps field. And I added a field created at and updated at. Okay, so lists has some issues. So let me go into my list migrations and go back to 0001. Okay. Cannot resolve bases. This can happen when you're inheriting models from an app with migrations. In an app with migrations, okay, so which command I tried to run? Migrate lists back. So let me try doing unapply all migrations. So I unapplied all migrations to lists. And let me do the same with tasks. Okay, so it's not letting me with tasks, but let me see if I can, let's look at lists. So I have this. All right, let me try to migrate. Nope, local field created at in lists clashes with field of the same name from timestamps, but I don't have a local field in lists. So I'm wondering if I should do the nuclear option again, since I seem to keep messing these up, which is delete these migrations and then delete the database again. Does anyone know a better way to do it? Because I just kind of want to get this done. And plus in these migrations now, I have these weird fields that I created, these timestamps, which I don't want because of that mistake I made. Yeah, let me just delete the migrations folders. I guess I will. All right, so I deleted migrations there. And now let me, since I'm already in here, drop database. Oh, it's not going to let me because it's being used here. So let me get out of here. Okay, so there are sessions running, but now if I do it again, it dropped. And now I will create the same database again. It created it. And now I'm going to come back into my other terminal and run. Let me first try to run my server, make sure everything is running okay. It's not. So module not found. Migration utils. Okay, so I have a migration dependency somewhere, and I think it's in here. Yeah, because I'm depending on all these other migrations, which I just deleted. So let me go into utils, and plus I don't want a database table for here, so it's easier if I just get rid of those two. Okay, so now let me try to run server again. Okay, and now I have migrations to apply, and I should have fixed everything that I did before. So let me do python manage.py make migrations. No changes detected. Okay, so let me migrate then. Migrate. Okay, so this just did the Django and the auth and the users. Now let me do make migrations for tasks. Okay, and that created a tasks model, and now let me do it for lists. Okay, so I had to do those and just reference the app exactly for some reason. Sometimes I have to do that in Django. Okay, and now that I made migrations for those two, let me migrate one more time. And I applied those migrations for lists and tasks. And now let me open dbeaver again. And it's launching. Okay, switch this to my active database. I'll probably change the title for this stream actually. It's debugging migrations and stuff like that. All right, so public tables. Okay, so I have all my tables. Please, please, please. Yes, this is exactly what I want. ID, created at, updated at, name, description, and this foreign key. I actually forgot. Oh wow, so I guess I missed some messages, so sorry, the stream just dropped. But fortunately it let me resume it, so yeah, thanks for watching. So yeah, I don't know what just happened there, why it dropped. Sorry about that. Okay, so let me add a user here then. So python manage.py, I'm just going to create a super user, and I'll do Gwen at example.com. Oh, why does it do that? Okay, Gwen at example.com, and password will be oh wait, my passwords didn't match. Now it's punishing me by making me type them both in again. Okay, super user was created. So now let me refresh this table. Oh wait. Refresh it. Gwen at example.com. Okay, good. And now what's my user ID is 1 because that's generated by Django. So now I should be able to, let me run the server again. And in the raw data here, let me see if I am able to just add user ID of 1 in the JSON and a title. So I'll add a title, walk dog. I don't have a dog, but I like dogs. Post. Invalid control character. What is a control character? Let me try one more time. User ID Maybe I got it wrong. Walk dog. Okay, this is absolutely valid JSON. Description. This field may not. Didn't we just fix that? Didn't we? Okay, I'm just gonna put something there. Null value in column user ID. It's non-null constraint. Okay, so when I'm posting class, I would have get here, a get method. Oh wait, it would be def. Def get, and then I would have def post. But one blank. Okay, that's just linting. So I would have these two methods and tell Django exactly how to handle post requests and set it up with the database and everything. But for my mistake is here, is in the serializer. I forgot to put that other field, the user ID field. That's why, because this is handling the post and get requests because I'm using let's see, because I'm using the Django Rest Framework. It's taking care of some of that stuff for me. So I do need to add. Let me add the user ID here. All right. And let me just fix it for PEP 8 specifications there. So I think, yeah, that should be good. Hi, Emmy. Thank you. That podcast took so much energy to put together, but I had a lot of fun. By the way, I'm going to do season 2, and I've already recorded 1 episode for that. So if you know anyone who's interesting or has an interesting story, let me know. So my first time, I have a small channel, so some people that I really wanted to come on didn't respond. So I'm hoping as I grow, more people will respond to me and I'll get a lot more interesting characters on the podcast. And I don't blame them for not responding. I mean, we all only have so much time, so it's not like we can say yes to everything. But as I get bigger, I think hopefully I'll be more tempting for more different people to come on. Okay. Title, description, user ID, created at, updated at. Okay, yeah, let me try now. Oh, let me get out of there. So this is in tasks. So in my task view serializer, I wonder if I have to restart the server. Sure, I can be louder. There, I turned up my mic. All right. With Gerald. Oh, Jared. Yeah, he's a super tight project manager type. Okay, well, it's not giving me the user ID. Wonder if I have to reset something. Either way, I should add this. Let me just copy this and add it to lists as well. So in my list serializer, which actually, so for lists, I have name here. So this should be name actually. So but I still have description and user ID and all that. So list.objects.all, task.objects.all, task serializer. Okay. Gerald, you know the guy, the Jared Wilkert, who's in the chat sometimes? He's the Jared. I had him on my podcast too. And he actually helps run the free coding school that I'm a part of as well. Okay, so now I have invalid syntax. Class class ListViewSet. So what did I do that was invalid? Let's go into lists. Error, end of file and multi-line statement. Oh, I see. Because hi Mohammed, how are you? Because I got rid of the square bracket at the end. That's in here. Okay. Oh, this needs a semicolon or colon. All right, to work in the Django Rest Framework. So let me look Django Rest Framework. Foreign key. Django Rest Framework, foreign keys and filtering. Okay, so that's for query set. So that's probably not what I want. I wonder if I should just search for something like Django, why can't I see foreign key field in API interface? Because I don't know why it wouldn't have a foreign key field here. It seems to me like it should, right? Let me go back. Yeah. Creating foreign key object on post. This might not be what I want. I want to be able to add tags to those blog articles. Okay, so they have an article class and a tag class. I think what this person wants to do though is create the tag and the article on post. If any of the tags don't exist, create them in the database. Not exactly what I want to do, but let me see what people are saying. Okay, so article serializer, tags. So in the serializer, so this is how Django Rest Framework is a bit different from the regular Django, because I'll be doing all of the post handling inside of this serializer instead of in the view. Okay, so overriding the create method of the serializer. Create. And I wonder if I need to overwrite the create method just to use a plain foreign key. So I think that's something that I'm going to have to figure out after this stream. So if I look at the schemas that I added, I pretty much have, oh no, wait, I need to add the list item schema. But I think I did add the user and the user profile last time. Yeah, users, and I have user. I'll need to set up a few more things with APIs. And then I really want to get started with the Vue front end for this. So what I'm going to fix